but we are going live right now. So if you're in the group page, make sure you tag a teammate. Let them know that we are live and that training is going on. And we are truly excited about what's taking place here in the Mirror Plan world. And so on tonight's training, I'm going to be giving a presentation also where if you are watching online or if you're listening, you'll be able to gain a whole lot. And then we'll have some action steps at the end of this training so that we can definitely have, some activity where we're implementing this information versus just, not implementing it and just listening to this, because we want to create some amazing action. A lot of us are already doing that. A lot of us are using social media. That's how I knew Michelle had a great table out there, because her sponsor, Carl Ryans, was out, and I don't know where they were, but I know they were at a church. I know the table looked nice and it was really presented well. And those type of things are really awesome ways of using social media. So tonight is all about what is your message. And I am going to go back here and share my screen. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Display. Capture. I think I'm discombobulated because I don't have my headset. All right, let's see here. No, we want to get the whole thing here. Okay. So I'm going to go here to start our social media. And let's see if you can see this. I hope you guys can see it. It should say social media campaign. But I'm going to go to the group page and see if I can see it from there. If you can see this. Okay. All right. Perfect. So let's get to it. So what we're going to talk about is what's your message. It's the first part of the whole social media training campaign that we're doing. So what does your page say is what we want to talk about tonight. If your audience or your supporters that you have on social media, this is a question I want you to ask yourself tonight. If you ask them what it is that you do, what would their answer be? And if the answer would be that they know at least around about what you do or what you stand for, or what you're about, that means you're doing a pretty good job at getting your message out to the supporters and also the people who are following you, your friends, and the audience that you have on social media. But if they can't answer that question, if they don't know that you're part of a Mirror Plan, but they also don't know that you offer dental benefits or that you have opportunities to help people create wealth online or at home. If they don't know that, it's one thing if they don't know if it's a Mirror Plan, but if they don't even know that you offer dental or they offer medical or anything that you do, then we need to adjust what our messaging is. And so the first thing that you want to do in doing this is simplify your message. Okay. Sometimes we can overdo or try to overthink the process of how your message should be sent out. But the main thing that the easiest way to figure out what your messaging is why are you doing this business? What is the reason why you're actually doing a Mirror Plan should be part of the messaging that you're displaying on social media. People are sometimes I think we forget that it's called social media. It's not just media, it's not just social, but it's social media. And when you can connect with your audience on a level where they know why you're doing something, at least they have an idea. Like for the most part, people can look at my page and they can kind of tell that most of what I do is very family oriented. It's very driven towards my sons, and my sons are the reason why I joined the Mirror Plan. And that messaging to the audience kind of drives them to want to kind of sit back and watch that movie. And so that's what you want to do, is to display your why. And that's the simplest way to send out your message. And that's one step in simplifying your message. The next thing that you want to do is you want to find space and the noise of social media. You want to go into the areas where it's less traffic. If you don't have any type of audience, let's say you're starting off right now, you got about 100 friends on your page, right? 100, 100 supporters or 100 followers or 100 whatever, right? So the max of friends that you can have on Facebook is 5,000, but the fans, you can have millions and I don't think I've ever seen anyone with 1 billion fans, but I do believe that you should be trying to max out or close to max out whatever it is that they're allowing. And if they're not, if there's no limitation, like on Instagram, there's no limitation to what it is that you can actually offer. There's no limitation to not what you offer, but how many people can follow you and how many people you can follow. And so you want to just be constantly trying to connect with people. And the best ways to do that is to go where there's less noise. What I mean by less noise, if you're in a group that has let's say they have 500,000 members, it's great to be there. It's great to connect with people, but you may get more interactions with a group of 500, 1,000, 1,500, 10,000, where your voice won't get just like another post in the midst of all these millions of other people who are posting the same way that you did. So you want to go into the areas with less traffic. The main thing that you want to do, and I want you guys, if you didn't write this down, if you don't have a pen and paper handy, and you haven't written down a note, or you haven't pulled out your notes on your phone, write this down. You want to be consistent and don't change up your message often. And this is the part I want you to write down. Marketing changes. Messages don't. I'm going to repeat that. Marketing changes. Posts changes. What you put out there changes. The holidays change. So the marketing aspect changes, but your message doesn't change. Your message, your why, your mission, that mantra that you have. Like me, I am known for changing frowns to smiles. That's my umbrella. That's my stamp. Or I hope that's my stamp. And if it's not, then now you know. But your messaging should not change often, but your marketing should. So simplify your message. The next thing you want to do is get your audience involved. Get your supporters involved. That's how you connect. Because remember, maybe we should write this down, and you should write it down slowly. And that's social media. Social. Socializing, being connected is all a part of making social media work for you to help you generate leads, call people back, and eventually enroll them. The one thing that you can do to get people involved is to ask questions. This will help with your message. Ask questions that are in alignment to what you're doing. In other words, we're in a business that offers opportunities for people to create wealth. I mean, if you are looking at this Jumpstart program and just looking at 5 pieces of business, 5 Jumpstarts a month is $1,000, y'all. And don't forget that you also are putting in the back end, okay, your residual is being taken care of because you're getting immediate residual the very next day. You're setting people up where they literally can earn $2,100. $2,100 by just 5 enrollments or 10 enrollments totaling. And so most people who really get serious can definitely do that in 30 days. And so your question should be geared in towards that. And what I like to do personally is I love to ask questions that are geared towards the result of having $2,100 or having a business from home. Like, let's say you ask a question, how many people has ever thought about working from home before? Just because they're not saying I want to sign up, just because they're saying I need a dental plan, just them simply saying yes is a great way of connecting with your audience, socializing with your media, okay? And so while you're doing that, people are responding yes. And let's say the next question you ask is, when is the last time you actually took a vacation? That, not including going to relatives' house. Like, I went to a family reunion last week in South Carolina. I did get a hotel, but I don't consider that a vacation. I consider that an event. That's different. I'm talking about where it's like, that's different. Okay. That's just different. And so ask questions. When was the last time you took a vacation? When was the last time you paid your mortgage 3 or 4 months in advance? When was the last time you went and splurged in a mall? When was the last time you got your nails done? When was the last time you got your hair done? When was the last time, those are just some, what was the last time, but it could be anything. What are some of your goals? What goal do you have to meet before the end of this year? And this is just thought-provoking, engaging messages that people want to or will be willing to ask, and it gets you connected. Another very important thing that I think it can be easily overlooked is to like and share your supporters and audience content from time to time. You don't want to make this a ritual, because you can get stuck on social media, wake up and look up, and it's like, wow, I've been on here for 5 hours. That happened to me yesterday, and I was like, I have to get better at this. I wasn't on for 5 hours, but I was on there for way longer than I anticipated, when I thought it was going to be like an hour. And, I ended up being on there for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, maybe even was 3. But anyway, so you want to like and share your audience and supporters and followers and fans content from time to time, especially the ones who support you. You want to go, I've heard this said, differently, but some people say go towards the love. Okay. You want to move towards the love. You want to move towards where it is that you're being supported, who's liking your stuff, especially the ones that's consistent. Just go drop them a like, drop them a comment. That just solidifies your connection with them. It's not a one-ended relationship. It's not like, no one likes one-ended relationships. Nobody. I don't care if they're even in one. They don't like it. And they definitely will back off if you're not showing them support. Everyone loves support. I'm not saying go on there and like if they're twerking or if they're doing something crazy or nothing like that, but like something that's in the alignment of your message, because everything that you like, everything that you share, and everything that you associate yourself on social media, people see it. And so that also helps to mold, good or bad, your message. So, sometimes I remember I had a guy on my team. He's not in the business no more. He quit, so I can talk about him. No, I'm just kidding. But really, he was on our team. He was really active. And, every once in a while you would see in the activity, he was liking pictures of women that kind of looked a little bit, for business purposes, you wouldn't want them to come to the meeting like that. So, and I would try to kind of hint and tell them, you kind of see that and other people see it. Most importantly, your prospects see it. So just be mindful of that when you're going on people's pages. You're not just liking it just to like it. You do want to like it if it's geared to your messages as much as possible every once in a while. The next thing that you want to do is be humorous from time to time. Making people laugh make you memorable. If you haven't wrote anything else down, that's something I would write down. Making people laugh make you memorable. Making people laugh will make you memorable. People love a good laugh. I mean, laughter is like honeycombs to the soul, I guess is what they call it. No, that's not laughter. It's actually not laughter, but it is, it's not laughter. That's kind words or honeycombs to the soul. But laughter just is a natural medicine. Okay. And so the way that people remember things are 2 ways. They remember things through repetition and emotion. And whether they cried, whether they were angry, whether they were scared, whether they were fearful, or whether they were happy and whether they were laughing. And of course, you don't want people crying and being emotional in a negative way because of your post. But if you can make people laugh, which is a positive emotion, people will remember you. You will become memorable. And so I definitely, every once in a while, like the other day, if you go to my page on Facebook, it was this hilarious video of this young girl who was being interviewed by this news anchor lady. And she was a little young, she was probably like 12, and she kept crossing her legs, and she had to go to the bathroom, and she really needed to go to the, you could tell she's motioning, and she said, I gotta pee. She said it like a couple times, and it was just funny, because here the news anchor is trying to be, professional, and this girl got to go to the bathroom, and she actually ended up going. It's funny. You got to go to the page to see it, because it's not funny if I explain it to you. But those type of things and those type of connections also make you look human. You want to be, sometimes we can forget to be, like, how would they say, humanize breastfeeding? Well, humanize your page, okay? Humanize your page by showing that you can actually have fun and that you actually laugh, and you're not just Mr. or Mrs. Serious, but you can laugh sometimes. It definitely helps with connecting and getting your audience involved. The next thing is, and this here, I've said this before, and this has helped me get my message out and penetrate more people. And this was something that was a jewel that I got from Danny Johnson. Shout outs to her. She had a social media training course maybe 3 years ago that I definitely got involved with and invested in to get the training from somebody who I respect in our industry. And this is something that she definitely, this is the one thing that stood out of everything. I'm sure if I go back and watch it again and kind of look at over the information, I'll gain some more jewels. But this is the one jewel that completely just helped me so much to connect with people. And that's to talk to one person. And I do this not just on social media. When I'm typing emails, especially when I want to connect with my team, I want to give them reminders. I want to give them motivation. I don't talk to Facebook as all, you're really going to see me say, hey, Facebook. I may say it in a video, but while I'm typing, an art of writing is to connect with that one person. That's how those really good books, this is not a book. We're not writing a book, but it's writing. Those really good books sometimes just grab you in, and it feels like that they're talking directly to you. And that's because they're talking to you while they're writing. Oh, gosh, daggone. That was good. That was good. I need to tweet that. They are talking to you while you're writing, and that's what you want to do. You want to talk to your prospects while you're writing. You want to, when you're posting, think of one person. Think of that one person that you're going to affect. A lot of times when speakers go up in the front of the room, they always say, if I can just help one person. And if I help 10, if I help 20, if I help 50, if I help 100, if I help 1,000, if I help 1,000,000, if I help 1,000,000,000 people from this posting, great. But if it's just one, I'm going to talk to one person. Think of that while you're writing. Use words like you, your, and your. Okay? You want to make your posts about them, about your audience, about their needs, about their goals, about their wants, about their desires. What is it? For me, it's always been the thing that we've been taught. Everybody wants to know what's in it for them. Everybody wants things to be about them, because most things isn't about them. We live in a world, if you turn the TV on or the radio or even social media now, you get embarked with a bunch of negativity, and some people live in negativity, and some people are around just chaos, you don't know. And so when you make it about them and it's something that connects to them and you're talking to them, you're going to definitely help to push your message across in such a powerful way. Beyond a merit plan, you might just help somebody. Literally. Beyond a merit plan, if you're posting positive, great stuff, you got great energy behind it, and it's connecting with people and you're talking to one person, you're helping them just generally. And that's the goal. That's the thing, that you want to engage people. Because if your post is the reason why someone goes out and starts a business and they reach the success and potential they always wanted to do, isn't that really what this is about? But of course you want them to sign up under you and help and use a merit plan as a vehicle. But if not, then so be it. It's great that I was able to help you. Lastly, I think this is the last one, and if not, we'll continue next week, is you want to use the news, okay? I always say you want to get in where you fit in, guys. You really do. You want to get in where you fit in. You want to use headliners to message in your message and gain supporters. Like, a lot of people might see this craziness online about, our president. Then there's stuff about Black China, the 444 albums. You got all this stuff going on, and you can just be a standby buyer and just watch it and see it happening and talk about it in general conversation like everybody else. Or you can use it to gain supporters and messages. Like, for example, I was talking in one of my videos that I did recently where, I was talking about the 444 album and how, if Beyonce's album Lemonade was true and this is true, and he's coming out and saying, I'm sorry, babe, and all of this stuff, I took that and not just talked about it with general conversation, but I used it as a reference to say, you know what, if Beyonce was going through all of that and she still was coming at the charts, #1, doing her thing in the midst of all this adversity, husband ain't acting right, kid, all this craziness, if she can still come and be proactive, that's a positive message using the headliners of what everybody else is talking about. And so you want to get in where you fit in that aspect. You want to stay away from politics. I find that to be, it causes division, and it definitely, you can be creative and you can say stuff like, I sometimes will say, I think I got a little too political this year because it was so much emotion and it's so easy to get caught up, and I know not to get caught up, and I got caught up in the politics. And so I want to encourage you guys to kind of stay away from that as much as possible. Have those conversations in private with whoever you want to have them with, because you don't want to cause division on your page. You don't want people to lose supporters over something you can't control anyway. And so I would definitely just include that. And you want to piggyback off of what is trending. Think of the image of piggyback. Know what a piggyback ride is? Someone hop on your back, and then somebody else hop on your back, and then somebody else hop on your back. Well, that's what you want to do positively. And you want to hop on the backs of whatever is trending, whatever is happening. And that way you will be relevant in the conversations of what everyone else is talking about, but also being distant enough where you're being proactive. And so that's our training for tonight. We talked about a lot. We talked about, we talked about what your messaging is. We talked about, what your page is saying to other people, how to simplify your message. We talked about getting your audience involved with asking questions and making things humorous. We talked about talking to that one person to gain connection and to use the news to be relevant, and stay away from politics. And I'm going to see if we have any questions, but don't forget that tomorrow night we do have an amazing training with Amy Pittman on on how to sell the dental plan. You want to be on that training call tomorrow at 9 p.m., same number, same pin. Don't forget to go on our millionairesintraining.com training site as a resource and tool for any information and updates. We do our best to add things there. If you see things that need to be added, we also love suggestions if we're missed out on anything, because we are human. And so I'm going to see if we have any questions tonight. I'm going to open up the lines. All right, the lines are unmuted. Don't forget about our hat. We'll see if we have any questions real quick, but let me give the action items. The action items is definitely continue to use the hashtag #GetFreeWithMIT. That's been going well. I've been seeing a lot of you, Cherie, Roz. I see a lot of you guys out there who's been using those hashtags. But in regards to the action items that we definitely want you guys to take full advantage of, is that we want you to ask questions on your page that are going to be thought-provoking and engage people to engage with you. Okay. In regards to like vacationing or what money will do for them or whatever it is that we talked about tonight. Remember, marketing changes, but your message don't while you're doing this. But the action item, again, is to continue to ask questions, Talk to people one-on-one, but mainly for this week, we want you to ask at least one question a day on your Facebook or Instagram platforms, Twitter platforms, so that you can start engaging with your audience and continue to use the Get Free with MIT hashtag. Any questions tonight before we wrap up? Any questions?
Yes, hello. Yes, hello.
Hi, Demetrius.
Hey, Zach, great training call so far.
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay. I'm always asked, you say, it's important that we tell people our story, and they know our why. But I'm often asked, what shouldn't we include in that? I'm talking about, because sometimes people will come to me and they'll say, well, I had to get that off of my chest. I just had to get that off my chest if they're having an issue at work or, with a friend or with a family. How do
you... Great question. Are you, referencing more of a rant?
I don't know what it's called, but it's a popular question that people do ask when they get the business started.
Okay, great question. Okay, so I'm gonna mute out the line. I'm gonna open it back up. So what I think about and what I'm gaining is it sounds like more so like a rant. But if it's not a rant, let's say you're having a bad day and you have a discovery and you want to share your story. Let's say your car broke down and all of that stuff, and I don't know. For me personally, I need my headset. I hate using this phone. For me personally, I think what the intent of the rant is what's important. For example, I don't think anyone should know about the timeline of your divorce. I don't think anyone should know the timeline of, some about how you're about to get a ticket. I don't think everyone should know constantly about, your medical challenges, But if you are, is it positive? Are you ending it positive? What is your intent behind sharing this information? So part of your story is part of your story. So, but some details, you might not want to share if it's happening. Well, let me just say this. Let me make sure of this. If you are emotional, don't go on social media. Don't go on social media. Don't go on social media. If you're angry, don't go on social media. It's not the place. That's what therapy's for. But in regards to your story, you should share your story. Sometimes you can be creative with a rant. But if you're not creative and if it's something that you're just emotionally charged from, you have to think of it on a standpoint of your prospects. A prospect is looking at somebody and thinking, is this person stable enough to lead me? Is this person a credible person for me to really give them my credit card information for them to actually draft off of my account for a dental program? Is this person acting as if they're in at work? Because at some point, and some people have 2 pages. Some people have a page strictly for personal and some people have a page strictly for business. That's what some people have their fan pages, but even on your personal page, your business life, and in a sense, kind of goes into your personal. And you want to just remain professional at all times is what I would say. And, think of it like a job. Could this possibly get me fired if I was working a regular 9 to 5? And if the answer is yes, don't post it. Demetrius, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. It gives me some boundaries. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Great question. I'm sure that helped a lot of other people. Anybody else have a question about anything that we talked about your messaging and how you, what your messaging is about, and creating your message is what we talked about tonight. Anybody else? All right, so don't forget that we have our AP. Go ahead, Jermaine. I think that was Jermaine. Great question. Absolutely, Jermaine. So I posted on both. Well, let me just explain how mine is set up. Like and again, everybody, if you have to go. I know training is over. This is all Q&A, and we respect your time 100%. So if you have to go because it's 9:30, great. But if you want to stay for the questions, please stay for the questions. And yes. So I post, like when I post on Instagram, it automatically goes to my fan page. And the reason why I have it that way is because I want my fan page to always have content. But I also understand that I have most of my better interactions are going to happen on my personal page. So literally I have posted on my fan page, not got any interactions, posted the same post on my personal page and gotten a whole lot of interactions or something happening. And the reason for that, Jermaine, and for everybody is because you got to remember that Facebook does control who sees your things on your fan page. And that's to gear you to do boosting and advertising on your fan page. On your personal page, it's just open season. Anybody can see your stuff. And the more people who like, share, and comment your things, the more it actually gets sent out to other people's notifications. It'll say stuff like, hey, Mary just liked Jermaine's post. And then when she likes it, then Veronica goes and like it. And it says, hey, Veronica just liked Jermaine's post. These type of things. So long story short, yes, I do post in both places. How to determine it? I do like to have a space because in the timeline, if you notice, sometimes you'll see a post that's popping, but it's like somebody posted it 6 hours ago and it's above the post you just posted because most people's timelines are not on what is new. Most people's timeline is on default of what's like relevant, what's happening, what people are commenting on, what people are sharing, what's happening, what's trending, and so because of that, you want to, that's why I post in both places and I spread it out because if you have 10 different posts going on at one time, then how do I explain it? If you have a whole bunch of posts at one particular time, it's going to like batch it up together. And then you won't get a lot of people seeing it. So what I normally do, Jermaine, my formula in my head is I will post a post like a status, then I'll post a picture or a video, and then a video or a picture, then post a status because those don't get compiled together. Likes are with likes. Apples go with apples. Oranges go with oranges. Pears go with pears. Watermelons go with watermelons. So your posts on your page, on your timeline on Facebook is not going to get conjuncted with your pictures. But if you post 10 pictures, not together in the same post, but you want it to be 10 different posts, they're going to combine them together. Same with videos. It's going to say, Jermaine just posted 5 videos instead of letting each person see each video in that timeline. So if you're thinking of it like lasagna and you're layering it out and you have your regular posts, your video, and then your pictures, then it's going to be where people can see it individually on that timeline. And so, again, the very long answer to your question, yes, I post in both places, and yes, I post systematically, is what I would call it. Yeah, think of lasagna. And that way it won't stay connected. Remember, group shares is not the same because that's like posting on a different timeline. But when we're talking about your timeline and your fan page timelines, think of that in hindsight. Not to say that it's the rule of thumb where I don't always post 2 or 3 comments if I'm like watching something or listening something, I'm being inspired. I'm just, it's just make sure that they're actually engaging because people can miss a really good post. You might have a great video, but because you just posted 500 other pictures or something before that, it's getting lost in the sauce. So I do post systematically and I do post on both pages, and I think that's smart to do. Great question, Jermaine. You're welcome. Chi-Town. Anybody else? Any questions? But Any questions tonight about anything in regards to your messaging? Any more questions? Well, I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. Oh, if you are, did I say that already? I'm just so excited about this Jumpstart program because if you were in before July 1, you still get that $2,500 per 20 Jumpstart consultant. So, and then after it's still $1,000, which is great. It's 20 by itself. You're looking at like $6,000, guys. I mean, woo! Ah! Woo! Oh! Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have a blessed evening. We're going to get out of here. Don't forget to definitely stay connected to all of the TAM meetings this week. I know Brooklyn, New Jersey was today. I believe Brooklyn is tomorrow. We have New Jersey the 22nd, Raleigh the 5th, and all these other places that's coming down the pipeline, even Chicago. And we're excited. Let's get involved. Let's make some things happen. And let's get free with MIT. You guys are awesome. Number one team, good night.
MIT.
Thank you.
Good night, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Number one team.